crazy. Sit back and take it easy. My mind is getting hazy. I do it on the daily. Social distancing. Thank you all for listening. Turn that frown upside down. I can't go to the playground. Stuck inside, but I'm getting by. Got to make the most of it. And the fear the end's not near. Life's a roller coaster. So enjoy the ride. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages. You're listening to JJ's Garage. As always, I'm your host, JJ. Today's episode, we got my buddy Mitchel phoning in, just talking about random bullcrap, talking about wines, talking about ice fishing, and always a good guest to have on. And then second half, we got my buddy Kyle calling in. We're talking about Tiger King on Netflix. If anybody hasn't seen it, check it out. We try not to do any spoilers, but maybe some very minor spoilers, I guess. But don't worry about that too much. Just listen to it anyway. And at the end, of course, we got microwave and stuff. Got some good requests for microwave and stuff. More science-y than dangerous. So we'll get back to the dangerous stuff next episode. So please welcome my buddy Mitchel.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, fuck it, we'll do it live.
Fuck it, we'll do it live. And he's just kind of an asshole.
Yeah.
Okay, I got that. I got a nice little drink here. Made myself a tea. So, fuck it. We'll do it live, Mitchel.
Yeah. I'm sitting at my table here. I got 4 bottles of red wine staring at me.
Oh, nice. All right. Okay. Well, let's just start it right there, buddy. Thanks for being on.
Yeah. It was a pleasure. Always a pleasure.
Okay, so 4 bottles of red wine. I think it was you I was talking to recently. I said, what kind of wine do you like? And you said that you used to like red wine, and now you like white wine?
I've been leaning more to white wines these days. I got a couple white wines in the fridge as well. I did a stock up there at the liquor store last week.
Yeah.
Just, when I was going to get back or if it was going to be open and whatnot. So, did a little stock up.
Yeah, I was going to say the exact same thing. I went and stocked up. I might have even said that on the last podcast. Went and stocked up, got a bunch of wines, got some red, got some white, and I got a rosé as well.
Yeah.
So I guess that's a mix of red and white, but I'm not really sure.
I don't really know what it is. I've never in my life bought a rosé.
Yeah.
And it's not that I don't like them. I've had rosés I've enjoyed. I've just, never bought a bottle of rosé. Don't much care for it.
At this point,
I don't really like colors mixing. It's like stay in your lane.
Right. At this point, I don't know what I like. I mean, I'm just trying to get into the whole wine game. And when I go to weddings, you know how basically every wedding in history, you get a bottle of red wine and a bottle of white wine at the table?
Yeah.
Well, every wedding I go to, I mix the two together.
Of course you do.
And everybody at the table's like, dude, don't do that, you're an idiot. And then I kind of convince a couple other people to do it. And it tastes better than either the red wine on its own or the white wine on its own. I encourage anybody out there to try it. And, you know what I mean? Joke's on you. Who's laughing now?
JJ's Fancy Juice.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe that means that I like rosés to begin with.
I don't know. I'd have to look into exactly what makes a rosé. I don't remember.
Yeah. Well, if it's just half and half mix of red and white wine, then,
Congratulations, you invented rosé.
Then I did it. Also, you notice how red wine is actually kind of red? I mean, you could even call it burgundy or something, but it's actually red. But white wine isn't white, Milk is white. White wine is more like clear.
Well, I mean, it's not clear, Jay. You hold up a bottle of red wine to the sunlight, I'm going to see through it, no problem.
Yeah, okay. Like
translucent.
Yeah, translucent. But that white wine there's nothing white about it.
Some of them are very gray. Some of them are fairly yellow.
Yeah.
Pretty much those two colors. Varied shades of grays and yellows.
Yeah.
Something kind of
I guess
greenish to them.
I guess you can't have red wine and then various shades of gray and yellow wine. That doesn't really sound good.
Yeah.
Hey Mitchell, you want to have a glass of various shades of gray and yellow wine?
No, I think I'll have a beer.
I actually just ran to my wine shelf here and... Oh yeah, Naked Grape, which is, I guess, I don't know if I should say brand names on the air, but Naked Grape, I think,
Not for free.
is probably a... Well, they could send me a couple bottles, but if I shit talk their brand, they probably won't want that.
They wouldn't like it, but you know what? Gotta take risks there, JJ. No one had a world-class podcast taking play it safe.
Yeah, that's the attitude, buddy.
I don't think anyone else, ever conquered the internet by being afraid of Naked Grape ink.
And it's not the cheapest, it's not the cheapest wine. So you can get wine for $8, $9, $10 a bottle, right? Which is pretty reasonable. I like to go, the 12, 13, 14, 15 range.
Yeah, I will take risks on the cheap end if I look at something, especially, I like those when they have the bottles that are like, $2 or $3 off, because then suddenly you're getting a pretty decent wine for a fairly average price. And, but I will definitely go for a risk on a cheaper wine. I've got one here with me right now. It's a Merlot Primitivo from Puglia in Italy. And I don't know, if I remember correctly, it's only like $12 or something like that.
Yeah, that's about good. That's about what you want to be spending, I think.
I guess some that cost more than that.
You know what we should do is we should just fucking get loaded drunk on wine on one of these podcasts.
Yeah. Just do a live wine tasting. We can do our own kind of snobbery and connoisseuring and
And it might get better. Oh yeah, we can maybe even have like a charcuterie board, if I'm saying that right.
charcuterie.
And maybe because doesn't wine go good with different meats and cheeses and stuff?
Certainly with cheeses.
Smoked salmon.
I would not say smoked salmon. I mean, you can. Like, you can have anything with anything if you like it. Screw the rules. Who cares what they did 100 years ago? But yeah, as far as pairing, I would say that cheese is far more important than meat when it comes to wine. You want the fattiness of the cheese, kind of the saltiness and the fattiness of the cheese, which are also present in cured meat. But you want that soft fattiness, that dairy fat, to kind of counterbalance the astringent tannins and the sourness of the alcohol.
Yeah.
The acidity, I should say, the acidity of the alcohol.
Have you ever seen the movie Bottle Shock?
No.
It kind of tells the story of these California wine growers who, so for the longest time, I guess, wine should come from like the proper regions of France and from Italy, right? And these bastards over in America, they shouldn't be making wine. They don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So I guess the wine world had a big resistance to some of this other wine from around the world. And so these people in California, right, which is now huge in wine, maybe some of the best wines in the world, I don't know, as I've heard, they put some of their wines in this taste test, and they were winning competitions. And so just kind of, in your face, big wine industry, we're doing it over here too. Bunch of hippies, smoking dope and making wine. We can do it better than you can.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a good line. It's like, what's next? They're going to make wine in Australia and Africa? And that's kind of funny because now those places have wicked good wines.
Yeah. I haven't done a lot of South African wines, but I've been known to enjoy my Australian and New Zealanders. With South Americans,
we're even doing it pretty good. There's a Monty Creek, and it has like the picture of the guy's face on it. They have a red wine that's freaking awesome. It runs about $15 a bottle.
Yeah, I haven't had I must be honest, I haven't had what I would consider a good wine yet from any of the Kamloops wineries. Okay wines, but none of them that I've tried are good. Sorry to say that. I wish I could toot some Kamloops horns, but unfortunately I haven't been able to yet.
Right. Okay, also moving on. So you actually went ice fishing even though you said you were done for the year.
I mean, I put my stuff away from the year. I figured the year was over, but then my dad asked if I wanted to go, and I figured, yeah, even if it's not good to go up there, we'll at least get a nice little drive. You know, get out of the house. And we fished for a couple hours. I didn't see a fish, but my dad caught one. His friend Matt did also not see a single fish.
What lake do you go to? Can you say it out loud or is it a secret?
No, it's Big Heffley up by Sun Peaks there.
Yeah, nice. How come you always go to those same ones? You don't go to any secret spots.
Well, I mean, I don't have a car most of the time, and when I do, I'm pretty limited to what lakes I can go to. A lot of our secret lakes, we do have secret lakes. I don't tell you about them, right?
Oh, right.
But they're often way up in the mountains of some old, dirty old logging cuts, and my whip can't get me up there. So I'm usually going, at the mercy of others who are driving, aka 99% of the time my dad.
Yeah.
And so, why do we go to the lakes we go to? You'd have to ask him. I'm just kind of there for the ride.
Yeah. My uncle's father-in-law worked for fisheries or something, so he had kind of an inside beat on which lakes were stocked, like not just stocked, but stocked last year, so they'd probably have a good fish population. And he would take me up in his Jeep and go down these gnarly roads, barely get through, and he'd be like, swear me to secrecy. He even threatened, he's like, hey man, I brought this blindfold, you gotta wear a blindfold. And I'll show you this, like, but then we get to these lakes and we're pulling out, 20, 30 fish in a day.
But how big?
Small, but my uncle's very adamant on not keeping any of the fish.
Yeah, I mean, if they're small, you can't. They're below the legal keep limit.
What is the legal limit? Isn't it 12 inches?
I don't remember specifically. It probably goes lake by lake.
Right.
Yeah, and it's going to depend on species, whether you're catching rainbows or brooks or whatever else. Probably one of those two things in the Kamloops region. But yeah, if they're small, they're too small to keep.
Right. And we would even, obviously, single barbless. I don't know if that's the rules everywhere, but we would do that. He's kind of just...
That is currently the rules in rivers and maybe certain lakes. I think certain lakes are specifically single barbless. Like Pass Lake, I know, is no barbs. But in Stillwater, aka in most lakes, you are allowed to use barb hooks.
And we wouldn't even take him out of the water. Like, he's kind of, be nice to the fish. He has the pliers right there. He's got a glove.
Yeah.
And don't even... Because if you look at some of the stats on the actual catch and release of fish, they're still telling you that 30-40% of those fish are dying anyway.
Yeah, it's quite a bit of a shock to the system, as you might imagine.
And taking it up, holding them by the gills and smiling in the picture, like you're screwing the fish up pretty bad.
Yeah, I do not do that. If I get a fish on and I pull one through that I absolutely... Like, first of all, especially with ice fishing, I can usually see the fish.
Right.
If there's a fish from my hook that I straight up don't want, I try to get the hook away from it.
Oh,
There's only one fish biting my hook that I actually have a potential to keep. And once I get them up through the ice, if I'm keeping them, I'm killing them straight away. And if I'm, for whatever reasons, judging that they're not keepable, then they're going straight back down right away.
Yeah, we go on a big fishing trip with my family every once in a while up to Myrtle Lake, where you're not allowed motors on the boat. You have to actually paddle your canoe.
Mm-hmm.
And it's pretty awesome. And yeah, mostly you only want to catch good fish, but sometimes, where you get that fish kind of north-south and it goes through its eye or into its brain kind of thing, or you mangle its face. Even with single barbless, this can happen.
Yeah.
Then we just keep it and eat it. We're going to keep and eat fish on those camping trips because... we don't really pack a lot of food. We pack like macaroni and cheese and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so we eat the fish to kind of sustain us. I love it, man. I love being out on lakes, paddling the canoe.
Yeah.
I'm all about that. Shout out to my buddy Joel, actually, who I was talking to last night, friend of the podcast. He said he's going fishing today, and that kind of got me thinking about getting back out there. Social distancing, just by yourself, whatever. Maybe even bring a friend, but take 2 different boats. And we should get the fishing going, man.
Yeah, I don't have a boat, unfortunately. I just got my dad's canoe, but I'm fine with just going with him in the canoe. You know, I don't need to social distance that far. I'm really not that about it. But yeah, definitely it's a good time to be getting some outdoor activities on. Good time to be getting out there. I've been doing lots of dog walks and hikes. Looking forward to some camping I want to do. You know, as the season warms up a little bit. It was actually funny is I was out ice fishing yesterday there. It was thick ice still, by the way, about a foot and a half of ice I want to say up on Big Hapley.
Right.
But there's one little pop tent just over on the side of the bay there. And there was a couple in it that we saw as we were walking back, and they just had like a little Explorer or something like that, kind of parked in the dirt road parking lot, so to speak, if you want to call it that. And they were just camping in this little pop tent. And that's a little bit cold for me. I think I'll wait another week or 2, but that's kind of what I'm wanting to get into. Is a little bit of camping while I'm got this time off.
Yeah, I had a couple buddies that were saying they were gonna go camping out. Where was Adams Lake? I want to say, and I've done some early season camping, and it can be pretty. If you're doing a tent and you're not doing a camper, it can suck pretty bad.
Yeah, I've been doing a tent. I've been taking tarps and everything like that, really kind of covering up the ground, or putting something on the ground, putting something over the tent, etc. Lots of blankets. I do have my little space heater for my ice fishing shack.
Yeah.
So that helps cut things down.
Is it propane? What does it run on?
It just runs on like little propane tanks. Like your classic like little Coleman propane tanks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So pretty easy peasy. The thing is, it can be a bit difficult to do some of the classic camping because right now, of course, a lot of parks are shut down. The government has shut down a lot of their provincial and federal parks, but that still leaves some wide open spots out in nature itself to go to.
Especially around here, man. If you get a little bit creative.
Yeah, exactly.
You can.
I'm really looking forward to, again, when it's warmer, like maybe another month, going out towards like Radium Hot Springs out that way. Doing some camping up through there. I think that'd be really pretty for a couple of days.
It would be really cool if, I don't even know if this is a thing, but camp somewhere like that and maybe do like a hike up into the hot springs and find a hot tub style hot spring pool.
Yeah, I don't know. Are there any sort of like actual swimming, bathing hot springs up in that area? I've only driven through once and it was really pretty and I always wanted to go back, but I never did any stopping or looking into that sort of thing. I guess I can always just Google this shit, but I don't know. Do you know?
I remember Steve was saying that he took that boat out with his cousin or something in Kelowna.
Uh-huh.
And they did that. They hiked up to he said they hiked up to a spring and hung out in the spring. Now, whether it was hot spring or if it was hot enough, because you want it pretty hot, I would imagine.
Uh-huh. No, I mean, well, certainly, yeah. Again, if we're talking the Rockies in April, yes, I'd want a fucking hot spring.
Yeah, exactly. But I have been to Radium Hot Springs, and they have to cool the hot springs off for that big pool, right? It's like they got pools and like a recreation area. You pay $10 or whatever.
Well, I'd love to check that out. Again, I don't know if that's going to be open with everything, but
no, that would definitely not be open
that way.
Yeah, no, that would not be open, and that's not the same. I don't want to go to some public place where everybody's swimming in a nice big pool that's just heated. No, I want to.
I just want to check it out. That still sounds cool. Like a big public rec center that's heated by natural springs coming up from the earth itself. That sounds dope.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, and it's,
Like, wouldn't it be cool if we went to TCC and it was just like, yeah, that's just, look, there's the rocks and the spring bubbling up from it. It's hot. Watch yourself.
And it is kind of like, that TCC has that kiddie pool right beside it?
Yeah.
It's just kind of like a big, awesome one of those. More of a wading pool than a swimming pool. But it's got nice stuff. Funny story, now I went there, we used to do our family, reunions at Radium Hot Springs, and then we would go into these hot springs. Met Flea from Red Hot Chili Peppers in the hot spring.
That's cool.
Yeah. Now I was about 9 years old, and it could have just been some tattooed guy that looks like him and said his name was Flea, and he could have been lying to me, which is probably more likely, but that doesn't make for a good story.
That's not the world I want to live in.
Yeah, so it might have been just some jerk that was, because I was sitting there hanging out. I'm with my older brother, maybe my little. We're just goofing around, and I'm like looking at his tattoos and stuff, and I'm like, "Where are you from?" "We're from Kamloops." He's like, "Yeah, I'm from California." I'm like, "What? What are you doing here?" "Well, I'm playing a show tomorrow night in Calgary, or something." But you know what? Now that I say it out loud, it sounds more like a lie.
I don't know, dude. Like, look up old Red Hot Chili Peppers tours, and was there a Calgary tour date about then? When you were 9 in that, whatever season that was.
I couldn't even pinpoint it to the year, though. I don't even know exactly how old I was.
God damn it, Jay.
So, you know what? I'm just going to tell people that I actually met Flea.
I think it's really cool that you met Flea. Like, that's dope. And in a hot spring, no less.
Yeah, because it's a pretty, attached to that hot spring is like a pretty mega resort. So maybe they were driving up from the United States there somewhere, Eastern Washington, and they're along that path going to Calgary on a tour bus maybe, I don't know.
Or just coming from Vancouver.
Yeah, it's a pretty big detour from Vancouver to Calgary to go Radium Hot Springs, isn't it?
I mean, I'd have to come out. Just do what you want. I mean,
You're kind of breaking up there, pal.
is it a bigger detour than traveling through Eastern Washington?
Oh, no. Well, maybe they're playing in Spokane. Maybe they played in Spokane the night before.
Perhaps.
And then that's just on the highway, on the route or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, another little bit thing that's happening these days is the price of gas is just cheap as heck, eh?
Cheap as heck, eh, bud? Yeah.
In Alberta, but if you're a guy who just wants to drive somewhere, good stuff.
My buddy Lee, shout out to Lee, just giving all the shout outs today, called me yesterday from Edmonton, and he said it was 55.9.
That's pretty cool.
In Edmonton.
Yeah.
They're just gonna get bitch slapped, man. I think they were projecting getting bitch slapped anyway in Alberta in the oil industry in that whole scenario.
Yeah.
But with this going on, oh man, they're just gonna get worked over. How's your guy? Like all these small businesses, man. Who owns Carlos O'Brien's?
That's actually a good question. I'm not sure of exactly the ownership structure. I think it's a franchise. But we deal both with corporate and with our individual owner, Andy Caverco. Nice guy. Shout out to Andy.
Yeah, Andy does a lot for our lacrosse team, actually. Great member of the community, actually. Yeah, shout out to Andy for sure.
Yeah. So obviously, Andy's business is shut down. We're all on the sidelines right now. It sucks. Yeah, the O'Brien, luckily, as far as who owns Carlos O'Brien's, again, there's the corporate side. As far as the corporate side, Kamloops, there's only 2 Carlos O'Brien's in the whole scene. The rest of them are qualified as restaurants, so they're allowed to remain open, for the whole takeout and delivery thing. Only Kamloops and Nanaimo have Carlos, so we're shut down, and the rest of them are doing takeout and delivery. So you can still get your pachos from Kelly O'Brien's if you want.
Yeah, are they? They're not co-owned. Kelly O'Brien's and Carlos. They don't. Do they have anything to do with each other?
Some guy named Warren, I think is his name, owns Kelly's.
And are they just like friends with the car? Because they're the same foods, not necessarily the same food, but basically the same menu.
The menu is the exact same. Like features will be the same. Only daily specials will be different.
Right.
Our beers do rotate a little bit differently. Like Kelly's has a couple beers, like craft beers, different than we have. But for the most part, I think our drink menu, certainly our mixed drink, like our cocktail menu and highballs and all that, it's the same drink menu. Just maybe some different craft beers, maybe different wines. I'm not sure.
So it's probably under the Kelly O'Brien's franchise, eh?
Well, I mean, like Kelly O'Brien's, it's called KOBCOB. Kelly O'Brien's, Carlos O'Brien's, and yeah, it's just one big, corporate whatever BC corporation with I don't know, something like 13 locations,
Yeah.
and yeah, we all just kind of get our marching orders from corporate. Andy, in whatever way makes them happen. He is the owner and GM. But I'm guessing that, as a franchisee, I should ask him actually.
I love Carlos. I love going there. Especially we play lacrosse Memorial Arena. And then our team, we all get together and then we go for beers. And by the time we make it there, I think it's 9 p.m. They do happy hour.
The 2-for-1 appies.
Yes. So we make it there just for 9, and then we get that going. We drink a lot of beer, and we have the VIP cards, so we get a nice little 10% off or something. And in addition, how much ever we spend there, we get, I think, another 10% added all together. And then Andy hooks us up at the end of the year. We go for our year-end party, and then 10% of whatever we spent all year we get to use at that party. So they hook us up for sure.
Yeah, that's pretty swell.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. I always enjoyed hanging out there. It's why I ended up getting a job there. Just hanging out.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder if Boston Pizza, all these places, man, they gotta just be taking a tank. Like, I feel bad for any sort of local small restaurant.
Yeah. I don't know if there's any sort of government relief coming for the corporate leases and all that, because these guys are still paying their bills on all that stuff, even if even if all their employees are laid off, or they laid off most of them, and the rest are just on very minimal hours. Like, they're still paying a lot of fixed costs. So, who knows?
And they're barely, like, if you and I were to open a restaurant, it's tough to stay alive. They say plan on not making money for 2 years. And then after that, your margins are so small, and you see, especially on Victoria Street there, it's like a revolving door, some of those storefronts of restaurants.
Absolutely.
And so as it is, it's already a tough market.
Indeed.
So, I don't know, man. We'll have to really go support these local restaurants and drink their beer here. Even the beer places, because how many craft beer stores do we have now?
Yeah, I saw that Red Collar is doing beer deliveries. And of course, they'd still be selling to the liquor stores. Liquor stores are still open, so hopefully people are buying, lots of booze at the store, which then gives the breweries a chance to, fill their orders.
Yeah. Should the liquor stores be open?
That's a good question. Are we really calling booze an essential service? My cynical mind says that the reason the government maintains open liquor stores, and really, drinking is bad for your immune system. It's not good. It's not good to be having booze flowing in a pandemic society. It leads to bad decisions and poor immune systems. Why does the government maintain that it should be open? It needs to be open, like a pharmacy or a grocery store? Because the government gets a good fucking cut from all the taxes it puts on liquor.
Yeah.
That's what my cynical mind says.
Well, that's a pretty accurate statement, I would suggest. So what about, I might even probably shouldn't even say this, but I'll say it anyway. What about those like alcoholics out there whose lives maybe are kind of in the dumps and they still are buying wine or getting their booze? What, are you just going to stop them cold turkey from getting their booze?
Yeah, and there is a thought to be said about that.
Because then they'll break into people's houses and steal booze and stuff, right?
Yeah, I mean, and that's already a concern with people living in, the margins of society, as desperation pushes them into crime when they have no other source of income or support. So yeah, certainly in a situation like this becomes even more aggravated. And take away their one thing, their one release, booze, might make things worse. Certainly, that's a good point. And just recently, you might have seen that they announced in Vancouver that they're going to be giving them clean drugs and a place to do clean drugs in the downtown east side, so that crackheads and heroin users and so forth are not congregating in unclean ways and helping to spread the pandemic.
That's probably a good thing. We could do a whole show on that, right? Varied opinions.
Yeah.
In my opinion, honestly, doesn't even count because I don't have a horse in the race. I haven't looked into it enough. So
No,
and
I really appreciate you say that. I honestly gotta say that I really appreciate that you think that your opinion does not matter. I wish more people thought that way. I wish less people came on and were just like, well, I think this and that matters. No, you don't know anything, be quiet.
well, I'll have family dinners, and there's members of my family that are like, well, we should just give them the drugs and then they kill themselves and then we'll be done of their problems, right?
Yeah.
And so I hear that and I'm like, okay, you're an idiot. I'm embarrassed to be related to you. And then and I've had members of my family that have fought addiction, right? And it's not as cut and dry as you would think. And then I have an uncle who works in bylaw services, and he's on the street level dealing with a lot of the disenfranchised in Kamloops, right? And he would say the opposite. He's saying we have to help these people. We need to drop the resources in. And I take his opinion more valid than anybody else's. Really, he's actually somebody's heroin overdosed in an alley, and he CPR'd them until the ambulance got there and saved the guy's life. So he's kind of those are the people whose opinions we should be listening to.
Yeah, he's definitely got some experience that brings something to the story. This is, without saying names, but this is Uncle B.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, UB, and he's just a top member of society for sure, man. And like I said, that's the opinion you want to hear is this kind of thing. But then sometimes I wake up or I go to my car at the rugby club, which is downtown, and my window's been smashed out. And
That's happened?
That's happened to me. It happened to a couple buddies from the rugby club maybe a couple weeks. There's nothing down there, hey? It's the rugby club and then...
That's skate park?
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, exactly. So overnight and then yacht club and the tennis courts and stuff. So there's no real traffic in there.
The LARPing. I bet it's the kids who do the medieval fighting. Oh, it's those LARPers.
Oh, yeah, you know what? That's who we should blame.
Yeah.
But that's, you know what? I don't drink and drive. You know what I mean? I'll be honest, I've made some poor choices in my youth, in my late teens and 20s, where I probably shouldn't have driven. And my friends have got caught drinking and driving and stuff. So I've maybe learned through their mistakes, and I'm fortunate to have not gotten caught. You know, never like wasted drunk or anything, but maybe poor decisions still. So I just leave my car down there now. When I get drunk, I just leave it overnight. My window gets smashed out, it gets smashed out. You know, it's $200 to fix your window. A DUI is probably runs you 10 grand.
I have no idea. I've never gotten one. Don't plan on it.
And that's best case scenario. You could kill somebody, which...
Yeah, that's really the main concern for me.
Yeah, right? So, at this point, it's not worth it. And, okay, anyway, back to what I was getting at. Windows getting smashed out. And then for a week or two, I'm on the other side of the thought going, what the hell is going on in Kamloops? We need to figure this out, right?
Yeah.
And when we're doing that, then I have no sympathy. Round them up and ship them to an island, you know? So, once anger starts playing a factor, I mean, your judgment becomes clouded.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Emotions exactly, they cloud reason. This is kind of, part of the problem with having people make decisions in things like elections. We don't like to admit it, but let's face facts. The choice you're going to make in the ballot box will be determined by how you feel that fucking morning. As silly as that sounds. How are you going to vote on this Performing Arts Center referendum? I don't know. If you're feeling in a dickhead mood, maybe you're not feeling very generous. Maybe you don't want to vote for it. Maybe you're going to vote no for it when you would have voted yes or later on. It's funny how human emotions kind of change the decision-making process en masse for us.
That's a good one to bring up, actually, is that Performing Arts Center, because
I'd intended to.
I am right on the fence. I am straddling the fence. I don't know what way I'm leaning.
I got the pamphlet for it right here in front of me because it came in the mail and I was reading it the other day.
Is this the pro PAC or pro?
This is the one from the city of Kamloops.
Okay.
Who are technically pro PAC. This is their plan, right? The city came up with this plan. They voted to approve it. and put it to a referendum for, not so much approving the Performing Arts Center, but approving borrowing money for it.
Right, but didn't we just vote on this like 3 years ago?
Yes. Now, I wasn't here then, so I wasn't around to do the research, but from what I have seen, I guess the main difference between the two proposals, they added in more parking. That was the major complaint for people. The previous one is that they didn't have new parking spaces brought in. So this one now has a lot more parking. And that's actually my problem with the new proposal is, so we took some money out of the Performing Arts Center from previously, kind of downgraded the Performing Arts Center itself, just so we could throw in more parking. I get it. People love parking downtown. I get it. That doesn't solve the issue. More parking spaces just mean more full parking spaces a week later, and then we're just back to wanting more parking. It's a short-term solution for a problem that can be only solved by actual, city planning.
Isn't it a little bit undemocratic to just make us vote again so soon?
No, I can see the argument being made, so I'd be curious to see what yours is. Go further, please. Elaborate.
Well, I would suggest that we already had this vote. The people have spoken. You must respect what the people have said. And so now they just repackage and do again. What if they just repackage and put it out every 6 months until they get it put in?
Yeah.
Then you're not then you can't wait 6 months and have a referendum to go back the other way. So they're just going to keep throwing it and throwing it and throwing it until finally they win one of these games? Well, that's...
I do see your point here, definitely. Of course, the argument can be made the other way, that if they do this every 6 months until it's approved, then that's just perfecting public policy. Isn't that what we want in democracy? I would say no. My hope would be certainly that if it's not approved this time, that they would drop it for a while.
It's probably pretty expensive to run one of these. What are we calling it? A referendum?
I mean, it's probably not too bad. You hire some people out, you get some volunteers, you coordinate to get some spaces for a day, and you have your little referendum. I mean, it definitely costs money. Let's not pretend it doesn't. Is it extremely expensive? I doubt it. Is it expensive enough that we should not do it just for the sake of approving some big expenditure for our community? I would say it's a worthwhile investment of our money, probably. I'd have to take a look at the bill, but probably it's worth the payment.
And they probably won't even do the referendum in the current climate.
I guess. I'm actually waiting to see that, because I have not seen a cancellation yet. I'm surprised that this was in my mail this late, saying something is coming up on Saturday, April 4th. Yeah, I doubt it.
Yeah, that's like a week away. That's a week today, right?
Yeah, sounds like it. Yeah, that should be the case.
Yeah, you're not hearing a lot of it. I'm actually friends on Facebook with a couple of people that are anti-PAC. So I would have said I was probably pro-PAC to begin with.
Yeah.
And then now after reading a bunch of these Facebook conversations and stuff like that, internet this and that research that they've put out from the anti, it's kind of swayed me maybe back to the anti side, and then now I'm about in the middle. So I'd say I'm right on the fence, and I'm kind of willing to be convinced either way. Or I might just not vote, and whatever happens, I will just accept what the people have decided.
Yeah, because I have my own misgivings about the need for a performing arts center itself. But I'd be curious to hear, what are these anti-PAC arguments that you're hearing from your friends? Are there some common threads that you can bring up, some salient points?
I could kind of bring it up, but off the top of my head, I would just say that there's performing arts centers in bigger municipalities that are 10 years ago that are still losing money. Like, it's absolutely not going to make money, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not supposed to make money. Like, it's going to have a continuing city operating budget throughout the time here. I can read my pamphlet, but even after this is paid off, they're still going to be paying to maintain it. But they did say, they brought up specifically, significantly less than either TCC or Riverside or Interior Savings Center.
Right, and both, what is it? It's not, what is it, Interior Savings Center right now? What is it called?
I think that's what it's called, isn't it? Let me just bring this up.
Riverside Coliseum. Everybody would know when we say Riverside Coliseum. That counts.
Anyway, so the city is saying that by year 5, they'll still be contributing $383,000 to the operating budget of the PAC. By comparison, the 2018 contribution to the Sandman Center was $752,000, and to the Tournament Capital Center was $1.2 million.
But in this, oh yeah, Sandman Center, that's what it's called right now. But at the Sandman Center, you got kids playing hockey from 6 a.m. until, not even kids, anybody, people of all ages, whatever, from 6 a.m. until midnight, right?
Yeah, and I suppose they'd be arguing, and again, this seems to be part of the pamphlet here, that this would provide all sorts of facility space for 3,862 children and youth who were registered in arts and culture programs last year. So I guess part of their argument is not only is this going to be for shows and everything like that, like concerts coming through town and all that, but just kids ballet classes can happen here, and kids jazz classes can happen here, and so forth. Again, I still have issues with this, with the arguments being put forth. Here's my thing, if I may dive into it.
Yeah, please do.
As far as having like a big performing arts center, we already have Sandman Center. This isn't going to attract bigger artists and bigger shows than are already going to come. They already have the biggest place to go to.
Here, I'm just going to cut in. I'll cut in on you here. Concerts at the Sandman Center suck. The acoustics are bad. You're even if you have like nice seats, you're pretty far away. I have gone to concerts. I've been to like a Matthew Good concert. I've been to a couple at Sagebrush Theatre, and I've been to the same artist at Sandman Center. The Sagebrush Theatre one absolutely smokes it out of the water. I've been to a couple. I mean, not even talking about the plays in the theater, which I got to go to more. Big fan of the theater, big fan of plays, big fan of the arts. But been to like a Beatles tribute band and a Queen tribute band, all at this Sagebrush Theater, and it is just so much better to watch something there than at a hockey rink, man.
Yeah, and you're cutting into exactly what I was about to say. So, despite the fact that, Sandman Center, it's not the greatest quality. I mean, but is that going to change by having this performing arts center? Again, is it going to attract in different artists than were going to come anyways? I doubt it. And as far as having that mid-range dedicated performing center, we already have exactly Sagebrush Theater, which is a pretty decent facility. Yeah, it's limited in size, but you know what? It's still decent for those mid-range shows. At the end of the day, this performing arts center, as it's saying here, it's only going to offer roughly 1,750 audience seats. That's not very big. Like that's not small. It's not chump change, but that's not huge. I don't know what Sagebrush Theater is off the top of my mind, but I'm sure it's competitive with that. And as far as having small shows, those really small, kind of more intimate performances, we already have places like the Grotto, like Brett Collar, like Iron Road that do little performances. Is there room for more? Absolutely. Would I like to see more performances? Sure. Is having this performing arts center going to bring in more small bands? I highly doubt it.
Yeah,
I highly doubt that the city's going to organize to have all these performances. If they organized the performing center the way they did music in the park all year long, that would be amazing. People would come to that all the friggin' time, right?
Yeah.
See these performances. But they're not. I highly doubt they're going to do that.
685 is the seats in Sagebrush.
The theater? Okay, so 1,000 less than what this place would offer. That would be a serious upgrade.
Yeah.
Again, that would be nice. But 685, like for a city like Kamloops, we'll just put on some more shows.
Yeah, so I would go if we built this PAC. I would try and go to as many concerts there as I could. I mean,
if they're worthwhile concerts,
and
whether they're using the facility.
Me and you are paying for it with our taxes anyway.
Yeah, which again is also true of Sagebrush Theater.
Right, but that's already there. There's nothing we can do about that. That was there before I was born.
Thing. If this gets built, there's nothing we can do about that. It's happened. I'm not going to hate on it. I'm on the fence. Do I want to see a new upgraded performing arts center? Sure, in a perfect world. But we don't live in a perfect world. We live in a world where things cost money, and we could be spending that money on other things instead. Is this really the best use of that nice open bit of geography in downtown Kamloops? Is that really the best use of our funds? Is this really going to put the city ahead?
Well, it's going to put them back financially, and if I consider myself fiscally conservative, then by association I would have to say no.
See, I consider myself not your classic, but somewhat classic, kind of a tax and spend leftist, but I'm also definitely a debt hawk. I don't like the idea of debt financing. It's justifiable sometimes, but I don't know that I can justify it for this.
How much? How does it say how much we're going to try and borrow? It's something like 50 million. Is that about an accurate number?
45 million.
Yeah.
So
what if we take that 45 million and we ties into what we were talking about 20 minutes ago? What if we clean up the homelessness issue and the fentanyl crisis in Kamloops? Throw 45 million at that, and I think our city would be better off in the long run.
I mean, certainly now, again, is it a question of, is it worth raising debt to do that?
Yes.
Because here's the thing, like the drug crisis, like that's an ongoing issue, right? It's not like we can just throw a bazooka of money at it and cure it with one shot. That's an ongoing thing. So are we going to then be issuing debt repeatedly, like ongoing debt issuance for the sake of doing this? Like, if for my mind, debt is okay in certain circumstances, like when you have a sudden downturn and you still want to maintain services, you're like, we'll just kind of debt our way through this for the short term. And if you want to do like one-time purchases, like building a performing arts center, it makes sense. It's a big infrastructure upgrade. Sure, there will be operating costs associated with it, but the big capital cost, it's a one-time purchase. Sure, debt, I get it. But as far as like long-term plans, you should not be building that on debt. You need to change your tax infrastructure. If you want to have new spending, you need to either cut spending or raise taxes.
Well, they are raising taxes anyway. I pay property tax, and they bring it up every year. You're paying, not only are you paying more property tax because the value of your house goes up, you're paying a higher percentage. So you're kind of double whammied on your taxing. So
yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to get into the point where I'm an old man and I go, well, I'm a homeowner and I'm the one paying taxes, and they keep I don't want to become that guy, but
Yeah.
I am becoming that guy a little bit, so I have to actively fight that attitude within myself.
I understand what you mean.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, so as I'm saying, I'm still on the fence. Somebody wants to comment below and maybe swing my vote one way or the other at this point.
Yeah, some solid arguments and facts.
Yeah, so I'm right on the fence, so I might.
Like, I'm not gonna go singing its praises. I'm not gonna say it's the end of the world. Like, I'm not gonna go put up signs either way. Like, I'm open to some arguments, and we'll see what I come to.
If it does give the kids and the youth a chance to do their dance or play their instruments somewhere, and it is kind of like a hockey rink,
yeah,
where like I'm 100% behind building hockey rinks and sporting infrastructure. So I would be a hypocrite to be against something for the arts. I kind of think they kind of go hand in hand. And activity.
Yeah, I agree with that, and I think that's a classic bias. It's like the classic school bias: is we'll fund the football program, but we won't fund the band program. And this is kind of that playing out in adult world.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I don't think is fair.
I think they're equal. I think that.
I think they make people happy, and we should try to create an opportunity for people to enjoy them.
Yeah, I think that sports is an art, and I think that arts is an activity. So, if it keeps our kids, off the streets and a part of something, and leadership skills, and you see kids, the youth, millennials, one would say, have fewer and fewer friends. Like, they ask people, do you have any good friends? And a lot of these kids just getting out of high school are saying, no, I don't have any good friends. I can, they're lonely. In a world where we're all connected, kids these days are lonelier than they've ever been.
Yeah, there's all sorts of things to get into about that, social capital and all this, but just like a dog, you gotta socialize people. They gotta have routines. There's certain things that are important.
And to be part of the community, this is the community that raised me. I played all these sports growing up, so I have like an obligation now, as I feel as I'm older, to be giving back to my community, right? So hopefully we can instill that kind of attitude in anybody that wants it, whether it be through the arts or through sports.
Yeah.
Okay, buddy, well...
And I'd also like to point out that, as they say here, the debt servicing for all this borrowing of money will come out to $3.95 per month for the average household. So they'll be paying $48 a year for this for 5 years.
Yeah, okay, I guess that's reasonable. So it's going to cost me $250 bucks?
That's not horrendous.
Yeah, but then where does it
Do I love
stop?
it? Do I love it? No. And
Yeah.
also, let's bear in mind that's average. Your house, that price is being pushed up by like the price of houses in Rose Hill and
Right.
Bachelor.
Right. The median house value in Calais is probably like 450 grand or 400 grand. Between 400 and 450, I would suggest.
I would have no idea on that.
Yeah. Yeah, so mine would be kind of the lower end of that, I guess, but yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't even know. All right, buddy. Well, maybe we just leave it at that.
Sure.
Was kind of going to have you on for 15 minutes, and I think we're pushing 45.
Yeah, sounds about right.
So I'm glad. I like going off on those tangents, man. That's kind of what this is all about, and trying to just get our minds off, whatever people are talking about. I'm not on Facebook. I'm off all this bullcrap. I don't have cable, so I'm trying really hard to talk about other things and live other lives,
Yeah. Well, that's next time I'll tell you about my plan for a trip to Yellowknife.
Do you plan on going there?
Yeah, I mean, gas is so fucking cheap right now, and I got nothing to do. If these government benefits they're talking about really do work out for us, and I can be, I don't have to be worried about starving to death, then it wouldn't be terrible to take advantage of this cheap gas and go for a nice road trip. Well, it's only a day and a half away, and so it's a whole different world.
I've always wanted to go up there, actually, too, man. That's pretty cool that you're thinking of doing it.
Yeah, well, I used to go up there all the time. I used to make that drive like many a year back in like high school in the 20s. So me and the girlfriend and the dog planning on doing like lots of camping. And they camp our way up there.
What, do you have a dog or does your girlfriend have a dog?
Girlfriend's got a dog. I have a stepdog.
What kind of dog is it?
Pit Bull Labrador mix.
Pit Bull Lab. Okay.
Yeah.
Is it cool or is it a jerk?
He's a sweet dog. He's a bit of a rascal. Can be mischievous. Like, he jumps in the bed even though he knows he's not supposed to, etc. Doesn't like to play fetch. Like when he gets his frisbee, like he's playing keep away. So a bit of a rascal, but he's a good boy.
Nice. All right, buddy. Well, thanks for calling in. That was a lot of fun, and we'll do it again in the coming weeks here, pal.
All right, dude. I'll see you later. Pushing 45 is 55 right now on this phone call.
Yeah,
all right.
I think we were kind of BSing a little bit before, weren't we, off air?
I don't know. I'm not really sure when you hit start.
All right. Yeah, hopefully this isn't killing. I don't know how many minutes I have a month even. Do cell phone plans work like that even anymore?
Skype or something, or WhatsApp.
Yeah, I think the sound quality would be dumpy through those, but we can try it.
We can give it a try.
All right, dude. Well, catch you on the flip side.
All right, Paladin. See you later.
All right, thanks, dude. Okay, up next we got Kyle. We've been watching this show on Netflix, Tiger King. Let's give Kyle a call. He should be expecting my call, and call Kyle McGowan.
Calling Kyle McGowan.
So yeah, we've been watching Tiger King, and it's friggin' hilarious.
Hello.
Kyle, what's up, man?
What's going on?
Welcome to the show, my pal.
Yeah.
So I was just saying this as the phone was ringing. Tiger King. That's kind of the main reason I'm calling you here.
Yeah.
I talked about it last night on a group chat with some friends. It is friggin' ridiculous.
From everything I'm hearing, pretty much everybody's watching this shit at this point in time.
Yeah, we'll try and not spoil it, because you could kind of spoil. There are a couple spoilers near the end
A
of it.
little bit, but realistically, as far as I'm concerned, you can't spoil anything in this show, because it's just so outrageous. There's no way to explain what the hell's happening half the time.
Yeah, so when did you actually finish it?
I finished it just yesterday, actually, or the day before.
Nice.
So, lots of time. Wasn't too easy to, or wasn't too hard to polish that off.
Yeah.
But, yeah, what episode are you on now? Are you finish it up, or?
I think that I started the 7th or 8th episode. Is that like the very last one?
I think there's 8 episodes, so yeah, you might be right at the end there.
I would tell you exactly where I kind of got to dance around spoiling it, but that guy with the leather jacket's there, and he's kind of taken over the part. I don't know how I
Yeah,
can.
Jeff Lowe showed up.
Yeah, how do I say it without ruining it? But the characters, man, when they first introduced, what's that bitch that murdered her husband's name?
Carol something?
Yes, Carol.
Yeah. Yeah, the animal rights activist.
Yeah. When she first showed up, and you can hear the cameraman say, "Oh, nice! Look what she's wearing," and she's wearing like a big hippie dress or something.
But she's dressed perfectly for this.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Joe.
For anyone that doesn't know,
Yeah.
Tiger King, it's on Netflix, just came out. It's basically about big cat, zoos, people that are collecting tigers, lions, those kind of things. And it follows around mainly Joe Exotic, who's probably one of the most interesting people you'll ever come across. And he's a gay redneck with like a polygamist, 2 husbands. And then it also follows around a bunch of other zookeepers that all lead just wild lives.
He even says that himself.
Wild lives.
He even calls himself a gay redneck.
Yeah, that's how he refers to himself. Yeah. And I've never seen a man with so much false confidence on absolutely everything.
Yeah, he's kind of got a gimp leg, and well, oh, dude, just so.
He's the star of his own world.
Yeah, and he is a little bit crazy, but everybody in that show is crazy.
It's wild. Like the first 2 episodes, I almost had like a hard time getting through, just because it's so outrageous and over the top. But once you get a couple episodes in, it just pulls you right in.
Yeah.
Because every episode, there's another ridiculous thing that's going on. They introduce another big cat owner who's got just ridiculous shit going on in their lives. Half these things are run like cults, paying their employees ridiculously low wages.
And he named his zoo exactly like that bitch Carol's zoo, just to piss her off.
He does that a little bit later on. He runs an entertainment thing when she's trying to sue him.
Yeah, she has Big Cat Rescue, and he started a new company called Big Cat Rescue Entertainment.
Yeah.
So he's just so petty. He's just like so petty about this girl. Why was he so mad at her anyway? She was just because she's a.
Well, she's an activist. She's trying to get them shut down for tiger petting, like cub petting and stuff like that, and breeding and all this other shit, which is how most of these guys are making their money.
Yeah.
I mean, she has a conservationist sue, but she's making more money than anybody.
Yeah, she wants it all for herself. That's why she killed her husband, maybe.
Oh, it's all so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous.
And then his husbands, and then he even, try not to spoil it here, but there's that third husband kind of thing, and then the second husband's mom, too, is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
And they just say he's retired.
Yeah. So, yeah, they're all, like, luring in. I don't know if luring, well, for some of them it is, but, like, Joe Exotic has nothing but, like, ex-cons working for him and people out of jail and stuff, and he's picking up, like, he kind of has, like, a good heart at the beginning of it, but then you realize Joe's just a fucking psycho.
Yeah, I kind of want to work at a place where you can hang out with lions and tigers.
Yeah, everyone would. It's fantastic. That's how they roll all their stuff. And then you got like Doc Antle, who's one of the other big tiger guys, and he's running like basically a polygamous family and raising people from like a young age to like marry and shit. He's got himself like 9 wives.
Even that, something Lowe? What's that guy's name?
Yeah, Rob Lowe. Yeah.
Isn't Rob Lowe like the famous actor?
There is a Rob Lowe that is a famous actor.
And this guy's name is also Rob Lowe, we think?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, his wife is hot, And then they're always like swinging and banging other
Yeah,
hot
they're
girls too.
swinging. Yeah. Yeah, it's outrageous, just from start to finish.
Yeah, just
Every new episode is just ridiculous.
yeah. So I think the hammer might come down in this last episode, but I haven't quite seen it yet. I've been trying to finish it before we do this, but you know.
Yeah, you kind of more or less know the outcome right from the get go where everything's going. They kind of drop hints and stuff along the way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I won't ruin the whole ending for you. There's not a whole lot going on in the end, but it's more or less what you'd expect. But
Yeah, that's friggin' hilarious. So yeah, go out and watch it. Anybody that's on Netflix. I'm also still trying to think of other good Netflix shows that are out there.
well, Ozark just came out with season 3. I started that up today.
So you've obviously watched the first couple seasons?
I need to finish off season 2. I never finished it last time it was going. Kind of started out slow, so I never got super deep into it, but I'm going to start working on that because it was also a great show.
Some of the new seasons of Trailer Park Boys are friggin' good.
Really, I was not a fan of the new Trailer Park Boys.
I wasn't either, like with where he freezes his goldfish in his hockey rink house and stuff like that. Those seasons were pretty bad, but then they get Mr. Leahy back and stuff, and it picks right back up and gets good again.
Yeah, once they started bringing in the celebrities and stuff, like Snoop Dogg has an appearance in one of the seasons.
Yeah, I liked.
Starts going downhill, I thought.
See, that's the season I kind of liked, where they.
It wasn't a terrible season, but like from then on, it's just not the same show.
Yeah.
And then Jim Leahy's obviously passed away. I forget what the actual actor's name is.
Yeah, everybody.
They also did a cartoon, eh?
What?
Yeah, Trailer Park Boys has a cartoon.
Is that on Netflix?
Yeah, I think that's the newest season of shit they put out. It's actually a cartoon.
Is it just?
I didn't mind them going that fashion.
Is it just the same old thing where they're in the trailer park acting like idiots?
Yeah, more or less. The whole premise is they've done like a ridiculous amount of mushrooms or acid or something, and they're seeing everything in a cartoon world now.
Oh, okay, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, they do a decent job with it, and then it has it's still Trailer Park Boys. They're able to do some a little more extreme shit because it's in cartoons and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But other than that, I've been watching a lot of esports.
Oh yeah, nice.
With my Twitch on.
Well, tell me about that then.
That's been replacing my sports for this point in time.
What's the best esport to watch?
Well, I'm sure you get lots of different opinions on that, but I would say Counter-Strike is probably one of the easiest for anyone to sort of pick up and watch. Very straightforward.
And that's just 5 versus 5 army men.
Yeah, it's a 5 versus 5, plant the bomb. The other team has to try to defuse it or kill off all the enemies on the other team. And there's full-on leagues going on right now. So every morning there's generally a couple hours worth of content at least. You've got the ESL Pro League, which has most of the high-end teams, probably your better teams and stuff like that. And then you also have Flashpoint just started up, which has probably a lot of the better commentators and analysis and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's on a better production, but they've got some of the lower-end teams in it. But every morning there's a couple matches on. You can follow along with the league and what's going on there.
So are all the players playing from home on their computers, or are they still getting together in a
room? All
room?
going to sort of be live studio events where they have all the teams kind of playing against each other like that. But with the obvious current pandemic, they've kind of moved it all to online. So it's one of the few avenues that's still left for entertainment where these guys can actually still do their thing while staying at home.
Well, they used to actually, and I've watched it with you, where they're actually in a sports stadium, packed with people, and there's 5 people at one desk, 5 people at another desk. They might even have a coach, and they're talking about it, right? So in this one, do they bring cameras in everybody's house, or do they just have a webcam on their face?
They're doing some like webcam interviews after the matches and stuff with the guys, but they're basically just streaming it through the servers. The analysis are all sort of in one place, and you still get pregame, postgame, just like any sport. They'll go over what happened in the match. And you get like full commentating as things are going on. So it's more or less run like a regular sport. But, fucking video games and shit.
Whatever. I haven't been able to play sports, so I've been just working out, riding bike, and then playing the new Call of Duty. So you got to get the competitive edge out. You got to do. I'm not much of a TV fan. I mean, I'll watch a couple episodes of Tiger King and something on Netflix, but I can't just watch TV all day. I can't do it.
No, I'm sort of in the same boat. This is generally stuff I've got going on in the background. But the stuff they're doing with streaming right now is actually kind of interesting. Like NASCAR recently just put on an event where they streamed a NASCAR race with the video game. And they had a bunch of pros, like actual race car drivers, set up like streaming sets in their house, the full, wheel and foot pedals and stuff to control the game, and they actually streamed a full NASCAR event. And it did something like 1 million concurrent viewers at one point in time, and now Fox is going to put it on TV, and they're going to stream their NASCAR events through that.
Nice. So these NASCAR guys are just at their house all racing.
Yeah, they're at their house. They're just making pretend races. They've got a bunch of pros and stuff, and then I think they've added in some of the esports guys that actually race on those teams and shit, and they get to compete. F1 also did a race over the weekend where they had a bunch of like ex-pros and stuff, and they streamed that. We're actually getting good viewership.
Yeah,
and then even Twitch right now, like a lot of your top like EDM artists, rave guys, a lot of musicians are actually streaming live concerts from their home and stuff like that. We're raising money for the pandemic that's going on right now. Like Twitch has a live stream aid going on right now where they're raising money towards all of this. They have like live artists coming on doing music from their home and stuff. They've got streamers streaming and getting donations and stuff and going towards that stuff. And I think today I was looking at it, they've raised over $2 million just through streaming and donations and stuff like that, all going towards COVID response kind of stuff. So got some interesting stuff happening online with the esports and the streaming and all these guys that are sort of almost feeling a boom right now for everyone being at home.
And you just get this on the Twitch app, hey? Is that what
it's just you can either download the app or you just go to twitch.com. And like I said, there's some big name artists on there doing streams from their home, putting on live music events and stuff like that. There's a bunch of charity events and shit going on, all sort of helping towards raising money for the current situation the world's in.
When you watch those Counter Strikes, are those on Twitch as well?
Yeah, those are also on Twitch. So I was actually, before I hopped on with you, I was watching some of the matches right now, kind of in the background.
So you basically don't need any other apps, any funny stuff, it's just Twitch.
Yeah, you can just go to twitch.com or you can download the apps on your phone and stuff like that. And a little bit something different for some people.
Okay. I'm going to have to check that out. Because I'm missing out on the sports. I actually had to... You can't get DAZN, you can't call them on the phone, you can't anything with them. It's a friggin' nightmare. So I sent them an email and they actually canceled and refunded my... Just bear with me here, Kyle. I'm going to flip the tape over.
Watch on that, I guess. So.
Bear with me. I'm flipping the tape over, buddy.
Yeah.
Just hang on here. This is going to make for... terrible stuff. Save that. Oh, no, I don't want to replace it. Mitchell. Kyle. Save that. This is killing me. This is what I get for running a 2007 MacBook. Oh my god.
Well, this MacBook lasts forever. That's the nice thing.
Yeah, it is, and it works better than, I could be using my desktop computer, but this works better than that anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm just gonna edit this out. I'm gonna go take a piss and just give me 2 minutes here, Kyle.
That sounds good.
Okay, and yeah, we're back on, buddy.
We're back.
Okay, so what were we just saying there? Twitching.
Yeah, talking about a little bit of Twitch.
So yeah, that's kind of the way it goes. I saw that FIFA was doing. They actually had professional soccer players did a little online tournament.
Yeah, there's a bunch of sports teams that are doing some sort of interesting stuff. Like I think Washington is actually streaming simulations of all the Washington Capitals and Washington Wizards games and putting that on their broadcast too.
Yeah, Melville that we play games with was just bringing up the other day about how how Ovechkin is maybe gonna score enough goals to pass Wayne Gretzky.
Yeah.
Watch this 20 games that he's missing here. Watch this be the difference.
It could be, and then you look at the lockout season and everything he's had too, where he's missed some games right in his prime, but I don't think he's gonna do it, man. Even with this lockout or with the season kind of shutting down.
You do think he is?
I think he's gonna. I don't think it's gonna be an issue.
You think it is going to be an issue?
No, I don't think it's gonna be an issue.
Well, he's pretty old, isn't he?
He's putting up his best numbers, like goal-wise, this year than he has in his entire career. Like he was on pace before this season went down for like another 60-goal season. And it wouldn't surprise me if that guy just keeps playing until he breaks that record.
Yeah, how do you know off the top of your guess how old, I'm going to look it up, guess how old he is. I'm saying 34, 35, 34.
I think he's 35, 36. I think he's somewhere in there.
Yeah, he's just so likable. I remember people hated on him pretty big when he was...
I was not an Ovechkin fan back in the day.
Yeah.
But guy plays with so much heart. He plays a full game. He's out there hitting people.
Yeah.
In the last couple of years, I've become a big Ovechkin fan. I was super happy to see him in the Cup. And I want him to beat Gretzky's record.
He's 34.
Okay, is that a little bit younger?
He's 34, and he turned 34 in September. So he's 34 and a half.
So he's kind of in the end of his career in most professionals, time span. But I think he's got it in him, man.
Yeah, especially
even in the later years. Like you just toss that guy on the power play, sit him on the point, have him hit some slappers. He's going to put in 20 goals when he's 40, 42.
Yeah.
Wouldn't surprise me in the least if he goes out and breaks that record. And I want to see it just for the fact that, we're going to be in a generation that got to see one of the greatest pure goal scorers the game's ever seen.
Yeah, up to this point, he hasn't faced much injury, right? He had that little shoulder thing, and that's about it. So maybe he will be Tom Brady and go till he's 42 or something.
Yeah, there's some guys that have done it. If you look at Zdeno Chara and some of these guys, like obviously his production shit's dropped down, but different position.
Jaromir Jagr's still playing professional in Europe.
God, Jagr went on forever. Team with Solani, the ageless one. Like there's been guys that can play at a high caliber level, even in their twilight years. And I think Ovechkin's going to be one of those guys.
Is he taking care of his body that well, though, right? Or is he just naturally that fit?
It wouldn't surprise me if he's on top of that the whole way through.
Well, people said he like drinks Monster Energy in his water bottle. He doesn't even drink water and stuff. So I hear that.
I like it. That's my kind of guy.
Yeah, and he just eats McDonald's and stuff. So I hear those stories, and I'm like, yeah, that can't be. But
I don't know. You see when Ovechkin won the cup, all he did was party for months. It was amazing.
Yeah,
that guy had more fun than anybody winning.
And then they're like, oh, his performance is going to dip the next year. He had one of his best years the next year.
Yeah, he's on pace for one of his quickest goal tallies to 50 ever this year.
Right, and now he's poor guy, man. That's poor NHL. You know what? I guess my heart's not bleeding.
It'll be interesting to see if we can get a finish off that hockey season. There's a lot of weird ideas going around for it.
The one I heard that I like is every team makes the playoffs, single elimination, two conferences, one plays 16, two, and then just one game elimination, March Madness basketball style.
Not a fan.
But if you do that, you can't give out the Stanley Cup because it's not the same, right?
So what I heard was they were planning on trying to finish it up in like a month before the regular season starts. And this was put forward by the actual players. They want to kind of just, I forget the exact month they were doing it in, but yeah, they wanted to go in, do playoffs, have like 2 weeks off, and then start the next season, which would be interesting.
Like, so they're going to have the Stanley Cup Finals in August?
Yeah, that's kind of what they're talking about at this point in time. Now, whether or not things have cleared up by that point in time, who knows? And then there's still the issue of trying to play out the rest of the season.
That would be hilarious if we're playing hockey in August.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely be an interesting way to go about it. And then to run right back into the next season could create a super long season. But, all right, they're going to have to figure some shit out. All these sports are going to have to figure some shit out.
Yeah.
But until then, the Netflix and random esports for me.
Yeah, the WHL straight up shut down.
Yeah, no Memorial Cup being handed out for the first time in its history.
And that's old as dirt, that cup.
Yeah, which is super disappointing as a,
Wait,
as a Blazers fan this year.
Were they handing it out during World War II and stuff even?
You know what, I couldn't tell you when the Memorial Cup actually got started.
I think it's more than 100 years old.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
No idea.
Yeah,
You'd have to look that up. But yeah, Blazers were having a good season. They were looking primed to make a Memorial Cup run, so that was a big disappointment. You know, a long time since Kamloops has had a decent junior team.
Yeah, I know, dude. That's super bummer. And I've gone to more Blazer games this year than any kind of year in the recent history.
Same with me, man. I took a lot of years off where it was hard being a Blazers fan. You know, we didn't have a very good team in the draft, just unentertaining hockey. And but yeah, this last year they really put together a nice young team, high paced. It was an entertaining season, and it was nice to do well for God since I was a kid.
So just kind of looked it up as we were talking here. It was donated in 1919 by the Ontario Hockey Association in honor of soldiers who died in World War I. So that's where the memorial comes from.
Okay, yeah, that would make complete sense.
And then from 1919 until 1971, it was given to the junior hockey champion of Canada.
Yeah.
And then it moved to kind of like major junior after 1971.
Yeah, and like probably the full CHL got involved and American teams and all that kind of stuff.
But it doesn't really say anything about taking time off for World War II. Oh, here's actually kind of a list of... Yeah, no, they did it through 1942, 43, 44, 45.
I was going to say, I think this is the first time the Memorial Cup will never be actually given to a winner.
Wow, that is just heartbreaking.
Yeah, so fortunately Kamloops has got a good team. We've got a line of 16-year-olds and stuff like that. Actually, they'll be primed for a couple runs here, it looks, for at least the next year or two.
Stankoven,
local boy.
Yeah, he'll be, because he's only 16, maybe not even 17 yet, might be 17.
I think he's 16 right now, or he turns 17 this year or something like that.
Yeah, so he'll be unreal. Oh, man, but I feel Franklin, who is one of my favorite players, who can just...
Yeah, the captain right now.
He, just the way he passes the puck on power play, right? He plays that half-wall position, and he just slings it around. Love the way he sees the ice. He's doing no-look passes across that I've seen goals come from.
There's some damn good chemistry going on that team.
Yeah. So that's a bummer that because he's going to age out, I think, right?
Well, I don't think he's an overage yet, so he's someone you can still keep around.
Oh, right.
He's got at least one more year. But there's going to be some guys, I think some of our defensemen are overages that are going to have to go. And it's obviously, you know, the CHL, pretty drastic change in your team almost every single year with how it's run, but
Oh yeah.
should have more or less the core of the team, and they should be good for another year or something like that.
Yeah, I hope so, man. I hope we can get it going again next year. And yeah, total bummer, man.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I don't like, have they awarded the Memorial Cup for next year? Like, who gets to host it? Or is that just BC divisions out of that? Because Kelowna was hosting it this year,
No.
although they didn't deserve it.
It goes to the OHL next year.
Yeah,
so,
it goes to the OHL.
I don't really like to look stuff up as we're talking, but I'll look this up.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Don't worry about it.
I'm already there, and Oshawa Generals.
Yeah. So.
Oh no,
Yeah,
wait, it's Sault Ste. Marie
That's
and
what Q gets it next year.
Oshawa Generals. Those are the last two, so they decide that here soon.
Oh, okay. So either the Q or the OHL, okay.
Those are both OHL teams, aren't they? Oshawa Generals and Sault Ste. Marie.
Yeah, there might be. Yeah, that would make sense.
And then it goes to the Q. Fuck.
Yeah, I think they change it every year or whatever. It gets shuffled around, but.
Yeah, so that's bummer. Yeah. All sorts of local sports. It's just weird seeing the fields empty, and soccer season, lacrosse season should all be firing up here in Kamloops, and it's...
Not going to see any of it. We're going to miss out on our softball league.
Yeah, is there word on that yet?
They postponed a lot of the shit. There was supposed to be a team meeting on April 2nd or something like that, but I think they're canceling that and doing some online stuff, and they're going to try to salvage the season, but unlikely at this point. Hopefully maybe we just get an extended season. You know, they put fall ball and spring ball together and we just get one long ass season or something like that.
It would be nice to play into July and August, especially if all my other sports kind of fall by the wayside.
But at this point in time, I don't think that's going to be happening for us.
At all?
Maybe by fall. I think we're going to lose the entire spring season at this point in time.
Oh, fuck.
Who knows? It all depends on, if we all hunker down and this gets better in a remarkable fashion in the next while.
Well, I took all my, I've been trimming my trees, and I took that all up to the recycle center. And the streets are busy today. It's actually been busier today than I've seen in the last few weeks. And people are all at the stores and stuff, so I don't know. I don't know how everybody's dealing with it.
Yeah, I got like a month left before I got to start doing yard work. I'm still sitting on a foot of snow in my backyard.
That's hilarious. I have flowers in my backyard.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
You're a 10-minute drive from my house, and I have fucking flowers blooming at my house.
Yeah, no, I don't got any of that.
Yeah. Okay, pal. Well, thanks for stopping by. We'll end it at that, and we'll keep on the Netflix. We'll keep on the esports, and I mean, this is kind of my thing that I try and stay busy with, right? So.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, do a little checkup on all your friends and whatnot, and see what everyone's getting up to. So, shout out to all the basic pitches out there.
Yeah.
I miss you guys.
Shout out to the basic pitches, and missing some of those people that you only see during baseball season.
Yeah, we're gonna have to. I like your idea of trying to get everybody together, and we'll do a little video conference with the team, see how everybody's doing.
Yeah, let's do that.
We'll have to work that out. So
maybe because what nights do we normally play baseball?
Would be starting mid-April.
Right, but is it like if you were to choose one night of the week that we're most likely playing, would you say like Tuesday night?
Tuesday, Thursday tends to be our general nights.
Well, maybe we do it on Tuesday nights or something.
Who are you kidding? It's not like anybody has anything on the go. We could do this any night.
Yeah, so maybe we'll get a video conference call going Tuesday.
Yeah, I like it.
All right, buddy.
Like it. All right, man. Well, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thanks.
So the rest of the day, I'll see you on some Call of Duty later.
Yeah, we'll Call of Duty it later, and I'm gonna go microwave something here. I got a couple.
What are you microwaving today?
You know what? I have a couple requests that people have put down that I haven't looked at yet, so I'm not too sure. You got anything in mind?
No.
Somebody said a beer can, but
just don't kill yourself. Don't do anything too stupid.
Dude, the egg blowing up was
I wasn't expecting that. Wasn't expecting that.
So I got to be a little bit more safe, because what if I was like, nothing's happening, and then I open the door and then I pick the egg up and it blows up in my face,
I was
right?
telling you that on day one.
Yeah. Well, I would never have
Fucking
expected that.
microwaving DW40.
Well, I was wearing a welding mask, so
Yeah.
and gloves, so I
Taking
was
the minimalist of precautions.
yeah.
Protect my face.
So I think I gotta. Oh, I think my little brother's coming in here anyway, so it's a good time to wrap it up.
All right, man. Well, you have a good day, and I'll talk to you later. Thanks for having me on.
All right, thanks, buddy. Take care.
All right, dude. Peace.
All right, we're back in my garage. You know what that means? Microwaving stuff. So had some good requests, have some stuff figured out. Got some light bulbs of varying style. That was a request. Thank you, Joel, for the request. Got this big one. I remember buying this. It was actually pretty expensive, so... But you know what? Gonna microwave it anyway. Who cares? Also, I was looking for light bulbs. I found this thing. It's got a bunch of little metal sprockets, so that could be pretty cool. And yeah, we'll just go from there. Okay, we're starting with this metal brush thing. See how this goes. Wow, nothing happening. That's kind of wild. Let's get this plate thing out. And, ooh, it's warm. Let's put it in there. And then why not, just for fun, let's put some CDs in it. Okay, this could be cool. All right, CDs are one of my favorite things to microwave. Okay, well, let's get right to it with the light bulbs. I have a glass of water. Maybe I'll put the light bulbs in the water, but kind of made this little stand too. Let's see what happens. Well, that's pretty cool. Who would have thought? Is that thing melting? That might not be good. That smells like melting plastic to me. Okay, let's try one of these light bulbs. That really stinks. That's light bulb air. Don't breathe this. Nothing with that kind of light bulb. Interesting. This light bulb looks the same, but it's actually different. Okay, nothing. Weird. Oh no. Hopefully I don't need that. Hopefully that's not for a tool of mine. Okay, so maybe if I put it in water, I don't know. I don't know why I think that'll work. Nothing there either. Okay. What about in this metal donut I made last episode? Awesome, but not what I'm... Oh, nice burn marks. Okay, and last but not least, the expensive light bulb. Feel bad doing this. Remember how much I spent on that thing, but let's see. Awesome. Pretty cool. Okay, grand finale, we'll put that. We'll put this light bulb. And this light bulb in water. Maybe that won't work, but we'll try it. Look at that! Cool. Look, it gets brighter as it goes. Well, there you have it. That is what happens when you microwave light bulbs. Well, as you can see, if you request it, I microwave it. So comment below what you'd like to see microwaved, and stick around for next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.